So I'm doing this recap on OKLO for one reason and one reason only, and that's just to pound the table on the power of volume profile. Many of you had started adding in some volume profile to your existing trading game, and I can't stress enough again the power of that. I've got some free resources for like a high level introduction on my site. There's plenty of resources out there, whether you learn it from me or from somebody else. I just, again, can't stress enough the power of just having that into your game. Some of the advanced things that you can do with it in terms of interpretation really can help to amplify your existing technical trading game, whatever that may be. So to me on OKLO, the only levels I needed were 922, 1220, 15, and the prior all-time high at 1880, this 1569 I'll come back to in just a minute. And so OKLO was maybe somewhat on my radar, but really once it cracks above this 922, comes down and back tests it here and makes a higher high. Now I'm paying attention, and certainly I would have loved to have been paying attention here. I wasn't, but once this happens, I know that OKLO with pretty much absolute certainty is going to 1220. The only way that is wrong and invalidated is if we then get lower highs and lower lows below 922. Holding 922 is going to 1220, period. So we took a position here, starter position here, and then we took an additional position on Friday the 11th, and that was when I had posted to X, I drew out this head and shoulders and said, oh my gosh, OKLO is going to zero. I think I'll buy it here. And I, had this range drawn with like a squiggle, because to me, this was the trap range, and call it roughly like 890 to 914 on OKLO, because keep in mind, I said lower highs and lower lows below 922, not some little wick. So Monday opens then, and we get this rip higher, and then sellers make another attempt. It grinds down just sort of like it had done on Friday. And then Monday's close is this big ripper candle. Now what that does is, we're already in, so whatever. And what that does is it traps, these Monday sellers, and it's trapping these Friday sellers. And so when Tuesday comes in and, there's this big gap up and it gets sold, and it's like, oh my gosh, what a giant rug pull. It's going back to zero, possibly. We weren't sweating this at all, just at all. I mean, it was annoying, right? I mean, you wanted to just rip after that after hours move on Monday, in the big gap up. You wanted to rip, but, it's annoying. That's it. But like your position is protected here, and you're still not even close to invalidation of the trade. So this move is reversed, and at a painfully obvious area, again, perfect for different reasons, not necessarily volume profile, but supply and demand at price, holds perfectly, and then just absolutely rips out of there, meets our 1220 target, exceeds a little bit. I mean, volumes were crazy. This thing was flying, but you can see that it ultimately struggled with 1220. So from there, I'd said above 1220 goes to 1363, I think I said, as a minor, and then 15. And I mean, you can see like Wednesday was just silly, right? I mean, it just opened and it ripped right through 15. It hit this 1569, which like I'll just call like a horizontal resistance, I suppose, and ends up cracking through that, get this nice pullback. Like we're still just making higher highs and higher lows, but above 15 and above this 1569, let's say, a little bit of a horizontal resistance there. But once we crack that, it's going to new all-time highs, and so that was our target, was 1880 above 15. So once we get this consolidation here, we rip through here, we know exactly where it's going, and you can see it hit 1885. We were on the offer for taking some profits at 1879, basically just front running it by a penny, or 1878 maybe, I don't recall. And then from there, who knows, right? This is price discovery. So it's a new all-time high, it can go anywhere. And my style is, we've made 100% on just the common in a few days. We hit all of our profit targets. We do have some runners that can run for, this price discovery. But from here, I'm not getting greedy, because I start to look for exhaustion once that all-time high move has been made. We did get a nice little pullback here, and we'll see where that takes us and if sellers can do anything with that. But, OKLO is just very, very strong. But again, like I just want to stress the importance and sort of the power of knowing where something is going, from level to level. This isn't like level to level technical support and resistance trading, but it is level to level in that, if you gain what we call acceptance, time and volume above a given level, we then know exactly where it is going next most of the time with a very, very high level of certainty.